Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. This episode we're going to be checking out a piece by the up-and-coming AI generative artist known as Kate Bjarno. This episode we're going to be talking about implied motion, we're going to talk about maximalist design, and we're also going to talk about the sacred scenes of our natural world. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this work, we're met with the lone subject here, of course a hummingbird set in center. Quite a stunning first impression, as you're likely just going to stand struck by the amount of awe within the work before us here. And so we see our subject set in center. Certainly feels like everything revolves around that placement. That placement in the center, of course, you're not going to miss it. We also see our subject accent. Of course, we have this kind of dark, pretty much, completely dark, that midnight black backing, truly the perfect neutral backing to allow that light on dark accent of our subject's form to the highest degree possible. And so what you'll also see here, of course, in the realm of color, really an analogous scheme here. We have kind of purplish, little red, a little bit of pink. Of course, the main foundation here is going to be that blue, that green, and then a little bit of that gold as well, with some rare hints of, say, pink. So all in all, it does work together quite nicely, and you have a little bit of those rare accents as well. So it's not overpowering by any means, as the foundation is certainly this kind of blue-green analogous scheme here. And what you'll also see is use of rarity of color, right? We talked about those rare colors, whether it's pink, whether it's kind of this purplish accent. What you'll notice here is it draws the eye, of course, on the subject center here. That is definitely one of the rarest colors. I would say pink is the rarest. It's the least abundant within the composition, but all in all, it's drawing your eye to the subject in center and even drawing your eye to those golden kind of chrysanthemums there. So all in all, very important when we're looking at this work. And so what you'll notice here is this sense of texture, right? So this is an AI generative work, so it is going to be a little bit of a stylistic impression. Of course, Midjourney always does that. When you look at a work like this, you can certainly tell that it's kind of AI generative. This looks very stylistic, very kind of impressionistic, if you will, as well. But aside from that, we see our subject, there is this unique sense of texture, right? You see it all throughout the flowers. You see it on this, what appear to be chrysanthemums. You see it even within our subject's forms, such as these kind of geometric flowing forms, as well as all these layers of feathers. So all in all, this does add this incredible sense of texture. It does give a sense of realism as well, of course. Like I said, the AI generative work, a bit stylistic over here. However, up here, it feels a lot more real, and it looks a lot more like objective realism. So all in all, that does work quite nicely to immerse us within the work at hand. And so what you'll also notice, our subject appears to be caught in kind of candid motion here. And what I mean by that, you see the incredible amount of curved lines within the work at hand. That gives us a sense of implied motion, but it looks as if our subject is flowing in this direction. So we're kind of caught in this one still moment. So that's what I mean by kind of candid here. So all in all, this does add to that sense of implied motion, of course, energy within the work at hand as well. And so what you'll notice, of course, flowers throughout almost every part of the work at hand. They even flow within our form of our main subject here. So flowers are incredibly important. That, of course, connects us to the natural world. And aside from that, it also kind of brightens the work at hand. And of course, that gives these kind of lively themes and invigorates the spatial composition with those really bright themes as well. So all very important when we're looking at this work. And so, we look at our subjects, or our subject as the hummingbird, and the hummingbird is actually a symbol in Native American culture primarily. Of course, it is native to Native America, so that, of course, makes complete sense. So we look at a symbol here, and a lot of people see the hummingbird as a messenger, a healing, representing family. Of course, so many different things you could really look at there. And so I'm actually going to bring in two pictures of what I believe this hummingbird to be. Maybe we can give it a bit of a guess here real quick. All right, so I brought two different hummingbirds. I was looking across the internet to hopefully find what we're looking at here. So I look at the one on the left, it draws my eye as that kind of purple accent on those wings there. Although when I look at this, I see that white accent on our main subject, so it probably isn't this type of hummingbird. But what I think it is a lot closer to be, perhaps, going to be this one here. Of course, we see a little bit of that white accent. We see that kind of blue-green foundation, and even that kind of purplish accent on those wings as well. So, when I try to guess what this hummingbird is, I lean a lot more towards this one rather than this one. What I want to bring both of these here to kind of show you guys a reference, kind of maybe get closer to guessing or figuring out exactly what this hummingbird is. All right, and so there's no doubt, we see the hummingbird, we see flowers, so many different things here, truly immersing us within the natural world, right? And the natural world is sacred in many different ways, right? It sources life. It, of course, kills and renews life. It is the birth of consciousness, coexistence, so many different things you can point to there. There is no doubt that the natural world is quite sacred, right? When we get flowers around here, of course, I believe these are golden chrysanthemums. If y'all have a better guess than me, I would love to correct that. I'm not exactly sure what these flowers are. are. I lean towards golden chrysanthemums, although I'm not 100% sure. But there's no doubt, of course, we see these flowers, we see this hummingbird here, trying to immerse us within the natural world. And like I said, the natural world is sacred and divine in so many different ways. And so when I was looking at this work, I was talking to the original artist, and the original artist talks about maximalist design within the work at hand here. And so maximalist design really adds a bunch of different textures, a bunch of different colors. To me personally, it is overwhelming. In Mac design is a little bit too much for me personally. But when I look at a work like this, it feels incredibly ornate, feels incredibly sacred, and of course divine as well. And so what I hark back to in some ways is the Art Nouveau movement. And the reason I say that is exactly because we're looking at here. Of course, you see the trim. Art Nouveau almost always incorporated these really heavy themes, but more importantly in the term of architecture or kind of a trim as well. So many different things you can point to there. So that maximalist design as well as the Art Nouveau, I think those are two very important movements or styles we can reference when looking at this work. And so this is an AI generative piece, or was made in an AI generative art program. That program is going to be Midjourney. So Midjourney really is kind of the perfect intersection of power and accessibility. So if y'all want to look at that, if y'all want to get into AI generative art, I would surely suggest Midjourney. And so the original artist is Kate Bjarno. And so I was talking to the original artist, I was talking to her quite a bit, and she says that she actually turns to AI art instead of painting because she can't paint anymore due to illness. And I believe that is arthritis, although I'm not 100% sure. I was actually asking about the original prompt, and I believe she wasn't 100% sure what I was asking, because then she blocked me, so that was quite interesting. But all in all, an amazing work here. If y'all enjoyed that, go check out the original artist Kate Bjarno, always doing some really good stuff. Probably a bit of miscommunication there. She wasn't sure what I was asking. I wanted to see if I could get the original text prompt that was put into Midjourney, because I'd like to reference it within these videos here. But no harm done. All good if she doesn't want to share those. But I hope y'all enjoyed this piece today. It's an absolutely stunning one. Some incredible themes of the divine natural world. An incredible example of the limits that you could push AI generative art to. Maybe not the limits, but certainly some divine and sacred and amazing art that can come from the AI generative art world. So I hope y'all enjoyed today. Like I said, if y'all enjoyed this piece, go check out the original artist Kate Bjarno, always doing some really good stuff. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.